Kids, aloha! Well, we're back again. I can see everybody's pretty anxious about this, I'm sure, by now, finally at my last school. Boy. But I just remembered when I mentioned, how everybody has to come together because of a transition of Planet Terrific. It'll be smoother when everyone comes together. Remember that? I had mentioned a fella, I didn't really catch his name or anything. It was that shaman from the Amazon. I guess his name is Puma. And I kind of checked that out. And all I want to say to that is, for whatever it means, I feel him to be a positive guy. There was only one downside, and I'm not going to say it's negative or positive. You will always choose on what direction you're going to go. Uncle Martin is at this time where I've understood it to be true that we need not take anything to raise our consciousness. Taking, eating, drinking to raise our consciousness. Uncle Martin's at that point to where I believe it to be not necessary, okay? And I'll go into that further because it'll be dealing with when I get out to the desert and I'm barefoot and having all that fun. Okay, so we'll leave that there. And what else we're going to do? Oh, yes, school. So I have to also say that I was on a trampoline since I was 5 years old. Got pretty positive with it. Mom and Dad were gymnasts in their own right. And so growing up, whenever Dad was teaching somewhere, we'd end up over at his school, and they'd usually have a trampoline. The schools back east, a lot of them had trampolines. So I was always, and by the way, kids, this is the rules on trampolines. First of all, it's hard to get insurance if you have a trampoline, if anybody tried getting it at their home. So you need a spotter. Always have a spotter when you're on a trampoline because it's dangerous, as you should know. You little kids out there that have been jumping on the bed, 10 little monkeys jumping on the bed, one falls off and that was negative. So we jumped on the bed too. I mean, maybe that's why they said, hey, we're going to have these kids jump on the trampoline. And we got, in fact, when Barnum and Bailey came over, they picked me, and I was able to do quite a few flips, and I got a little prize for that. But anyway, I got up to where I could do a double flip, no problem. Bro knew that, he was probably one flipper. He could flip once, and we'll just leave that at that point. So whenever Dad was teaching in Edison, Franklin, wherever it was, and by the way, Mom always said, Mark, why can't you just get settled down in one school district, a sub? You could do much better. Dad would immediately always say, no, dear, no. The kids need to be, and he says, they need to be taught, but it's so much more of a challenge to be a sub. Yeah. Kids, come on, you kids in school. I don't care if you're, out of kindergarten. From there, all the way up to high school, college, I guess, you're probably more. Whenever there's a sub that comes in the room, kids, it's negative to do this, but the sub usually gets tested more. I guess that's what Dad liked, because he was that kind of guy. If you haven't realized now, he thought outside the box, that guy. So he said, oh dear, it's always a challenge. So finally he did settle down. He ended up teaching at a Greenbrook. But I promise you, every time we got to go, and it wasn't a trampoline, there was definitely a rope that we could climb, and open up the doors, and there's all these different red balls to play with, and boy, we just loved getting over to some school that he was at. And that was just good, positive memories for me. I had to bring them up. And plus the trampoline thing definitely comes in. So let's see, Jamie. Yeah, mom's saying, okay, you can use my car. Be very careful. Yes, mom, I will. And by the way, 10th to, well, actually, Bro didn't get in until freshman, so by senior, because Bro was 2 years behind me in class. When he got to our school, he was bragging to all the kids how I could do a double flip. Just put that on the back shelf. So me and my friends, we stopped off, little recreational stuff, get to Jamie's house, and big doors, 15-foot doors. I mean, they're gigantic doors. You get in the house. It's a mansion. It's a mansion. There's quite a few mansions up on Camelback if anybody wants to go through Zillow or whatever they're putting up there. See the kind. So we get in the living room, get through another room, then we get over to, they call it the playroom. We get in there, and it's 25, 30-foot ceilings. They got a trampoline. Okay, can you see what's coming in here, kids? So now all my classmates are saying, hey, Uncle Martin's here. Hey, let's see you do the double flip we've been hearing about. I said, oh, well, okay. I was up for it. So I get on trampoline. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. I think I did a flip. Did a flip and sat on my butt. Did a flip that way. Did another flip. And then I was ready. I was ready to go. So I bounce. Do a double flip perfect double flip. That's what everyone said. It was a perfect double flip. Except when I came down, I guess my right foot hit the trampoline and my left foot went through the webbing. You know how there's a little webbing and there's a space there, and then the bar. So my foot went through that. My chin hit the bar. I came off there. Then my head hit the oak floor. But I jumped back up and said, don't even worry about it. I'm okay. Jamie comes over and says, no, Uncle Martin, looks like we're going to bring you to the doctor. I said, get out of here. It's not that. I said, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. Because now I'm looking and there's blood dripping on the floor. You know, I still wasn't concerned about it. And I'm going toward the bathroom, and I guess the door, there was like kind of a swinging doors, and her mom comes out with like a tray of goodies, and she says, oh my, I'm going to take you to the hospital. I said, hospital? What's the matter with you? I'm just going to go in the bathroom. I'm going to clean up a little bit. So this is all I remember at this point. I open up the door, and I remember looking down at the tile, the where you pee, and there was like a marble. Then there was like about where the mirrors are right here, and then it went blank. Okay, I want to know what I saw in the mirror. Okay, I don't remember that. So the next thing I remember is there was a bright light in my eye, and there's a doctor. Okay, there's a doctor with one of these lights in my eye, and then my mom is over here, kind of close to my face, and Dad's over here, kind of actually all three faces were kind of close to my face. But this doctor has this bright light, and I'm saying, and then he's saying to me, what color dress was she wearing? And I'm in a hospital bed waking up to this, right? And Mom's looking, Dad's looking, it's like, E.F. Hutton, what's my answer? They're quiet, and I said, I took a guess. I said, a blue dress? They all go. And I said, no. Mom, no. She says, no. And he says, and the doctor says, no, it was a red dress. And I was thinking, you know, did something happen to somebody in a red dress? My mom says, no, we keep asking you. We've asked you that question for 15 minutes now. Your eyes have been open, but you've been answering a blue dress for 15 minutes. So see, kids, the lights were on, but apparently no one was home. If we can go back to that little thing that I said in the back, whenever that was. Sometimes the lights are on, kids, Looks like the lights are on, but there's just no one home. So that actually happened to Uncle Martin for 15 minutes, maybe longer, because I don't remember the ride up to the hospital either. So now the doctor's saying, I know this, that, boo, 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 and he says, he's back, he's back. And so then immediately Mom says, where's my car? And I said, Mom, you don't even let Dad drive your car. And she was not happy at that answer. And Dad says, nah, where's your mom's car? I said, Mom, I don't remember. And then Mom says, how long is this going to last? She says to the doctor. And he says, well, it could be, it'll come back. His memory will come back. But can't really say, but it will come back. So we go home. I get in the house. They bring me to my room, which we had a small house at the time. We didn't get the extension work really done. We had a couple extension works done. It was in the midst of being done, blah, blah, blah. So I'm in my room, and I see a chessboard. I said, boy. So I knew how to play chess, see? I knew Mom and Dad. I knew Bro. I didn't know it was my room, but I knew the chessboard. So I had some memory, some cognitive memory. But I said, because I caught on that was a really interesting chess game. I said, it's in the middle of the chess game. I said, Mom, who's playing that game? She says, you are. I said, who am I playing? You're playing against yourself. Really? Can you do that? Yeah, you can, kids. So it was, so that was Friday. So, they kept me overnight because they wanted to make sure I was okay. I wasn't going to slide backwards. I guess that can happen because I had a concussion. And so Sunday I get to go home. Monday I'm at school. I don't remember anybody. I don't remember my teachers. So everybody's up around. They say, hey, how you doing? Because I had some stitches here and here, maybe a Band-Aid. And everybody's saying, hey, yeah. I said, yeah, well, how you doing, guys? Who are you? Who are you? He's making, they thought I wasn't kidding. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know my teachers. I knew they were helping me what rooms I was going to get to my classrooms. As a matter of fact, when I first got the kids around me and everything, and they said, hey, we got exams coming up. You better start studying. I said, oh, okay. And then I said, and I was asking them, I was asking the kids, I said, oh, I asked different kids, but I was still getting the same answer. I'd say to somebody, I said, yeah, by the way, am I a good student? Everybody was laughing. Everybody I got a hold of, they thought that was like the funniest thing they ever heard. If I asked if I was a good student. So then I was getting tired of the laughter, so I would ask each one of my classroom teachers, and pretty much I had the same thing. A lot of them were laughing. Then there was a priest that didn't laugh. He said that was my Latin teacher. He said, you have the potential to be an A student. I said, oh, really? Oh, okay. That sounds pretty positive. It's a lot better than what I've been listening to, And so that's the only guy that really came through. And I found out later that he was the one that I had he had flunked me, but he was giving me D's, and then he worked me up to a C. So he was the one. He was the only one that said that I had the potential to be an A student. That's all I had to go with, kids. So, by the way, everybody that was laughing, and even the teachers, I didn't believe them. I just didn't believe them, and I just stayed firm in my mind. I said, well, all I got to go with is this one priest is saying that I have the potential to be an A student, and I thought that to be very positive, and that's what I was going to go with. All right, that's where Uncle Martin's head was at. So I studied. I actually opened up a book and started reading knowing what the exams were going to be on and all that. They gave you a little hint. So I was reading all of that. I read pretty much through my classes. I read during my break time. I read during lunch. I read when I got home. So I read about 2 weeks worth, and we had exams. Well, lo and behold, kids, I ended up with pretty much A's, A minuses, and there was a couple B pluses. It kind of shocked the assistant principal, to where she couldn't believe it. And what I want to say is, kids, I am so serious with this. Sure, I had amnesia. All right. Yeah, I had a concussion. And that's not it shouldn't be funny, but as I look back, when I look back at the promise that I made Dad, that I would never read, or I would never learn in school again, that was negative, by the way. Which I want to say is this: you kids, whatever grades you're in, whether you be in high school, college, and you don't want to put up with the blah blah, but you want an A, read it under this understanding. Read the book or literature that they're giving you with this intent. Your intent will be this: you will say to your subconscious, we got to read this, we're going to get an A, but we're putting it on the back shelf, and we do not believe any of it until we get to apply it. Under that understanding, it'll be okay. When you're just reading, and your subconscious is your conscious, subconscious, you got to work together, because that has to do with memory. What happens is, when your subconscious understands that you're reading under the understanding that you don't believe nothing, you're just reading to get an A. And we will, when we apply it, see if it's really true or not. It's going to be much more positive for you than later on, when you're applying what you've read and you find out it's a bunch of poo. It's going to be harder to take out of your subconscious, is what I'm saying. Okay? Just put all that on the back shelf, because it's very important that you do that. Just to at least keep that as a concept, that it may work that way. Okay? The other thing is I had no idea if I was a positive or negative student. I just knew that I was reading and I was going to learn. And I did. I obviously, since I had those high grades, where prior to that, I did just enough to get by. I didn't realize I needed a B to graduate. Nobody told me that. I mean, to go to college, that was one of the rules. So I had actually I was able to go to college if I want to, and I just may pick that up someday, just for the heck of it, because I believe I've read enough on different things. I probably would be within a higher grade group than I would have if I just jumped into it. Okay, alrighty. Are we done? Are we done? I believe we are done with high school. Fantastic. So then, from there, I zipped over to New Jersey, and we got to. Oh yeah, I asked for money. I needed a money job. 2 weeks later, Gramps says, get on down to the Jersey Central. They're hiring, and you just have to pass the test. I said, oh really? What's that? And he said he gave me the book to read. I read it, passed, and from there, I gotta go with smoking. I told you, kids, how smoking works. It's up to you. I would say, statistically, if you can get up to, I guess, 18, 20 years old without smoking, the statistics say, with parents that don't smoke, it's even higher. Well, so I had both parents not smoking, and me not smoking up to 18 years old. So it looked pretty positive for me. But things happen. Things happen when smoking, well, cigarettes become romanticized. See, I didn't know smoking could be romanticized, and that's pretty much how it was. Um, to where I was, see, I told you to remember, put on the back shelf, Candy Man and Dog Food Man, and that's where they come in. I was I was on the railroad for, at that time, probably over the 30 days, which, by the way, statistically, I don't know how it is now, but at that time in 73, statistics showed if when you were hired, if you got past 30 days without being killed or maimed, which happens within that 30-day period, statistically, that you would be able to graduate at 62, get your retirement, graduate. You would be able to do that. So when I got on the, I guess it was the first 2 weeks, things were happening to Uncle Martin to where it didn't look too positive. But again, Dad had sent me that book by Edgar Cayce, The Magic Mirror, Diagnosing Dreams. So I got proficient at it, at diagnosing my dreams. So I was able to, in the beginning, when you get to dreams, it pretty much, it could happen when it comes true within a month, maybe 2 months, maybe a year, whatever that was. But I got so positive with that I actually couldn't wait to go to sleep, because I really enjoyed diagnosing my dreams, which I highly recommend you start, kids, whatever age you're at. When you wake up, get a pencil and paper, write it down. Maybe even have a dim light on, not a bright one, because it's easier to wake up in the middle of the night, and you write it down, rather than wake up in the morning and say, oh, I remember all that. And by the time you get to breakfast, what was that about? And all you remember is like nothing. That's how it works. So it's important to, in the beginning, to write them down. In fact, I'm even writing them down now. I don't care. It's very important. And for all the times that it's helped me, I'm saying it does work that way. Trust me. It's not for your amusement. So I'll get into dreams, I promise, because it's very important in how this really does work, and maybe I can help somebody. I would say more than likely when you get into dreams, because everybody says it's imagination. I don't see it. I don't remember it. I can't touch it. I can't feel it. Well, guess what? Those people have a whole lot to learn. And anybody that, in fact, I might as well just go into that right now. Put smoking on the back shelf. This is so important. It was on junior year of high school. See, I didn't even remember this until right now. Junior year of high school. Mom and Dad are going on vacation. Didn't tell us where. And Mom says, no, I just had a dream. And she says, Mark, we're not going to that, wherever they were going. They didn't even tell us. She says, we can't leave the kids alone. This dream is too important. We got to stay. So Mom was one of these people that could have dreams, as we all can, and know what's going on. Is what my point is it started with Mom saying this dream. All she said was, she says, it's a warning dream, and I can't leave, because I woke up and it was bro. His right hand was on fire. His whole hand was on fire. A red fire. His whole hand was on fire. And she says, that's a warning dream, but we're not going anywhere, hon. And then Dad says, yeah, it's only a dream. Don't worry about it. And they'll be okay. And I said, Mom, yeah, no problem, Mom. There's not going to be a problem here. Not at all, Mom. I promise you. And Bro says, yeah, that's a ridiculous dream. You don't even worry about it, Mom. Boy. So, okay, they're off for the weekend. And but when Dad says, and I don't want anybody having a party here. I said, Dad, don't worry about it. I'm not going to have any parties here. I promise. Bro, I promise. Yeah, okay. So I go on my date. I drop her off. I got home early for some reason, like 10 o'clock. On our whole street, from one end to the other, both sides, and this is back in 72, there were no place to park anywhere. I'm thinking, what's going on here? And I get up to our place, Acre, which I have, and there's a bonfire up front. There's a 150-pound German Shepherd, ours, Fritz, chewing these cans, big oil cans. They call them oil cans, or Foster oil cans, the kind of steel. And he was a crazy dog. He was chewing them up until his mouth was bloody, but he wanted more. He was that kind of dog. Picked up rocks as heavy as a brick. He loved rocks. You show a rock, it was like gold. In fact, that one he picked up as heavy as a brick, he dropped on my mom's foot, broke 2 of her toes. So anyway, I'm walking down the driveway, and it's just, we had 32 citrus trees back in the day, and I couldn't walk through. There were so many people. There was a live band going on. All these girls that I knew from high school, this is the best party we've ever been at. And I'm thinking, what is going on? Your brother has my brother, he's 2 years younger than me. He's invited these kids with beards, live band, and now the cops are showing up for the 3rd time. I'm talking to him and say, yeah, I'll keep it down, officer. I'm really sorry. He says, hey, they play pretty good music. Just keep it down, will you? I said, yeah, absolutely. My brother, you can see what character he is, right? Maybe? Not really. I haven't even gone there yet. So he, the next day, by the way, people were throwing up. The girls in my class were really sweet, and they were cleaning up all that stuff. The next day in Mom and Dad's bedroom, I hear, boom! I open up the door, and here's Bro with this 22 Beretta Dad had brought back from the Navy. And he has it like this, and I say, Bro, come here. And now I have his hand, and we're wrestling with the gun, which is so negative, kids. That's why I'm saying, not only are guns negative in the wrong hands, they can be positive in the right hands, negative in the wrong hands. I felt to be very negative in his hand. So I finally get it away from him, and the bullet hole went right through my parents' window, and they come home. Dad wants to know what's going on here. Well, it looked pretty clean. Couldn't even tell there was a big party. And he wants to know why is there a hole through their window? And Mom says, that was the dream. That was the dream. That was the dream. She diagnosed it right there. She said it was little Bro. He had a firearm. He had a firearm in his hand. His hand wasn't on fire, but he had a firearm. Kids, dreams are symbolic. They can be literal, which I can go into for you, how literal they were for me, that it saved my life over 8 times that I wrote down. That's why I'm saying they're so important that you start diagnosing them as soon as you can, because it'll help you. It will help you. So Mom had that dream that stuck in my mind, that dreams aren't for amusement like I previously thought. I was involved in a situation where my brother did have a firearm in his hand. So on that premise, I highly recommend, there's so many books out there you could get that they have, because they're out there. In fact, you don't even have to buy a book. You can just write these dreams down. And if you just keep asking yourself, what does this dream mean? This is the goofiest dream I've ever heard of. What does this dream mean? And you can say it's a goofy dream, because by the end of, I would say within 24 hours, or by the next day, if you keep wondering, you keep asking, because your subconscious is going to help you on that, and your higher self will help you. You're the guy, actually, who's in the dark, if you want to think about it that way. So when you start asking yourself, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this dream mean? Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. If it's symbolic, you'll get the symbology on what it means. And if it's literal, definitely keep it in mind because that means something. It usually happens within 3 days to a week to a month. I've got them to where it can't happen 2 years later. The one that when I was out in the desert that I'll have to bring up. That was totally too cool. And yeah, 74 I dreamt it, and 76 it came true. So it can happen on any timeline. Timeline. Uh, I would just stay with keep in mind what you're dreaming, write it down, and I promise you it will come to where your answer will be for you if you keep asking. All right. Gosh darn, I ran out of time. I'll come back with smoking with how Candyman and Dog Food Man worked out with them. Until then, aloha, be well.